Today from WA. Hi, this is Julie. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Margarete Miller number 48. Before we get started, just a quick reminder, because I did forget to remind everyone last time on my Thrifty Thursday video, but the vintage-ish playing cards giveaway is still running for the month of November. So if you want to head over to the Thrifty Thursday Friday book haul video that was posted on Thursday a few days ago, yes, you can comment on that video and be entered in the draw to win these playing cards, and also on this video. So I just thought I would do that while I remember, and then we're going to go on and do Margarete Miller's number 48. So these are the prompts for today. We're going to need a mushroom, an illustration from a children's book, a zigzag, a dried leaf or flower, something loud, and the bonus is a quote. Okay, so I'll move the cards and we'll just quick flip through. Back in a moment. Okay, here we go. Quick flip through. And also for the playing card, there's going to be 10 packets available to give away. So you have multiple chances to enter by commenting on all my videos in November. Just leave a comment, any comment, and I will give you a number, and then I will draw the winner with the random number allocator, random number generator, at the end of the month. Okay, so these are all of the weeks that we've done so far. I've done all of the weeks, but these are I think all of these are the ones that were videoed. I love this one. Yellow is not my favorite color, but it's really pretty, and of course I love this one. Yeah. Okay, so and then that was last week. This was last week's. Bit of an unusual one. Well, I mean, a few of them are unusual, but yeah, it's kind of weird. It's got this postcard tucked in there as if it's just on someone's desk, and that postcard, it looks like it's in a photograph frame. You all liked my photograph frame. Thank you very much for all your wonderful comments. It's a bit weird. I don't know. Anyway, I'll start with the mushrooms. I've got quite a few to choose from. There's some great mushrooms in the things to cut out and collage, which I think this one, and where's my big one? I've been wanting to use this one. It's such a big mushroom. So these two I think were in as things to cut out and collage, and I have these stickers too, which came from AliExpress. So whatever we can make fit. Illustration from a children's book. Well, that was really easy because as soon as I read that, I knew the illustration that I wanted. I've had this cut out for some time. I've tried to use it, I think, in 3 different spreads, and it hasn't worked. But I love him, and I don't want him to get crumpled in the basket, so I'd really like to use him, seeing as it says illustration from a children's book. Not actually from a children's book. I was wondering what book it came from, but it's from a book of art that was for sale at an auction or something like that. So I assume this was painted by someone and was, you know, it might be a famous artist, I don't know. But it's a beautiful illustration. I love the red and the green. It's actually really Christmassy. And this mushroom, doesn't that go really well with it? So trying to work in the red or the green, the really dominant mushrooms with that illustration, because I just think he's great. I just love it. And so I'm determined I'm going to be using this today. A zigzag. Well, that was actually quite difficult. I started with, the only zigzag I could find at first was this little bit from a card, you know, from a cardstock, or, you know, 12 by 12, whatever they're called. But it just wasn't long enough. I needed it to cover up more space. It wasn't working. So I did find another piece of this. So this is parquetry floor in that herringbone, but its herringbone is a zigzag, so I think this is what we're going to be using. I don't think we're going to be using that. I'll move this across a little bit so that it's a little bit more centralized. All right, what else? Zigzag. Dried flower or leaf. Well, I did dry up a rose, but I don't like it. I tried pressing some. I haven't checked to see what they're like. I've got one rose bush, so I pressed some rose petals or leaves, and I just left some in the container to dry. So I'll pause and I'll just see if these have turned out. Well, these have actually turned out not too bad. Not sure that purple goes with the colour scheme. That's the colour of my rose. It's a pinky colour. Oh, and then there's the leaves. They turned out better than I thought they would. Nice and flat. I don't really actually like dried flowers. And if people use them in journals, they will get confiscated at customs if they come to Australia. So whenever I see someone using a dried flower in a journal and offering it for sale, I think, oh, Australians can't buy it because it will just get confiscated. You can't send things like this to our country. So I mean, we can send them out, we just can't bring them in. So, and they get sniffer dogs and stuff, and anything that's got this kind of stuff in the parcel will be confiscated if found. So I'm a bit sort of wary of anything with dried flowers. Each to their own. I just don't like them. Oh, I can't get that back on. I was going to be selling this in my garage sale because I really don't like doing dried flower, so I didn't think I'd use it, but it actually turned out quite nice. Oh, I can't put it back, it's too fiddly. Okay, so I've got thousands of flowers and petals, but I don't think pink's going to go with the red and green, so I'm going to have to find an envelope or something to put these in, I think. But they have turned out nice and flat, and they haven't lost as much of their colour as I thought they would, and these ones have taken this kind of stripe from the corrugation of the cardboard, I think. Interesting. I don't mind them now, but see, I was going to put them in this red one or a green one, and then I thought I could put them in an envelope, but the CD was going to be my Something Loud kind of thing, but I don't know. I won't be using the pink or the yellow, but I don't know, maybe I can use something of the green. I do like to do all of the prompts if I can. I mean, it is supposed to be a challenge, and you know, for me it's definitely a challenge to use those, but the leaves I don't think the leaves are too bad. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. Let's leave that for now. All right, so we got that. What else is there? Something Loud. This came about after looking at this picture here. I've lost the name because I trimmed it off, but this is Dick Whittington, in case you hadn't figured it out. He's on his way to London. Dick Whittington and his cat. And I thought to myself, well, I don't really know the story of Dick Whittington. I don't remember it. All I know is he goes to London. So I looked him up, and there's varying sort of versions of the history, but the consensus is that he is a character in a kind of like a folk song or ditty or whatever that was written in the 1600s, but it was about Sir Richard Whittington, who was the Lord Mayor of London 3 times in the 1400s. So 200 years later, the bards, or whatever they're called, the singing guys, wrote a song, and that is what has gone through to today. But in the song, they changed the story, because we don't really think that there was a cat. We think that was made up. And Dick Whittington is meant to be poor, but he didn't. He came from a rich family, so that wasn't true either. So a bit of an embellished version. The pantomime story and song is an embellished version of the original Richard Whittington. But Richard Whittington is a very interesting man, because he was a philanthropist. He did make a fair amount of money through trading in textiles and silks before he became Lord Mayor. And then he married, and his wife died later, and he had no children, so he left all of his money to charities. And he also started things like hospital wings for single mothers, drainage in London, I think. One of the charities that he either started or gave to is still going today. So, you know, he left about £8,000 in the 1400s. £8,000 in the 1400s, can you imagine? Considered to be worth about 8 million. So he left all of that money to various charities. So yeah, so that's Sir Richard Whittington, who they believe Dick Whittington was written about. However, he wasn't a poor boy, and he probably didn't sell his cat. So those sides of things just make the story fun and interesting, and also probably so people could identify with him being an orphan boy coming from a poor family and making good in London. However, he came from a rich family in Gloucestershire. But he still did good, so that's all fine. Anyway, there's the history lesson. This is who we're having, is Dick Whittington. Now, the reason why I was telling you all that was the story for Dick Whittington is that he was on his way. He was a poor orphan boy, and he was on his way back out of London because he didn't like his job, whatever he was doing, some menial task, and he was walking away from London. And as he walked away, he heard the Bow bells, the bells of St. Mary le Bow in London. They're quite loud bells. And he heard them and turned around and felt the call to go back to London. That's how the sort of story goes. He was called back to London, and he felt that he had something important to do, and he eventually became the Lord Mayor. So the Bow bells were the important part in the story of Dick Whittington. So these are the Bow bells. Well, this is the church where the Bow bells are. So these, then it's not the right era though for Dick. I mean, this is obviously not the 1400s. It's probably the 1800s, but it's the closest I could get. So I think I quite like this one because you can't really see the people that much. So the rest of this, and it probably wasn't like this in the 1400s either, but that doesn't matter. And a quote. I found this first when I was looking at the story of him, and I saw this, and it just said, blah, 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 blah. Whatever you do, wherever you go, be listening, wise advice in a noisy world. And I just thought, well, that fits his story. You know, he was walking away, leaving London, and then he got the call to come back, and he listened to that kind of like inner voice or the bells or whatever. And wise advice in a noisy world, I think even in the 1400s, whatever decade or whatever century you go to London, it's going to be noisy compared to Gloucestershire, where he came from. I thought that was sort of fitting with his story. However, then I looked further into it, and when I got the Bow bells, it's like, well, okay, the Bow bells are mentioned in Oranges and Lemons. So I went down quite a rabbit hole with this, I have to say. So I'm not going to sing it. Oranges and lemons, said the bells of St. Clement's. You owe me 5 farthings, said the bells of St. Martin's. When will you pay me, said the bells of Old Bailey. Oh, that would be funny if we don't have the end of the rhyme, won't it? Because it's the important bit. I haven't lost it, I promise. I haven't thrown it away. It's just got misplaced for a moment. Come on, little piece, where are you? Okay, so we got that. This was the other one. This is what I was going to have if I was thinking of having Gloucestershire. I decided that might look like Gloucestershire. That would be where he came from, but that doesn't really fit on the page anymore. Okay, this is just ridiculous. I had them all so neat here in little piles. Yep. Okay, I'll go back in a moment. Well, it had fallen on the floor and it had nearly fallen in the bin. So this left side of me is a very dangerous spot because that's where the bin is and things fall off the edge of this table. All right, so when will you pay me, said the bells of Old Bailey. When I grow rich, said the bells of Shoreditch. When will that be, said the bells of Stepney. I'm sure I don't know, says the great bell at Bow. There's slightly different variations. There's one version that has lots more bells, and there's the ending, which is quite unpleasant. Here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head. Chip chop, the last man's dead. Well, I played this game and it didn't traumatize me. But so that brings me to this picture where, as kids, we used to play Oranges and Lemons. You have your hands up. If anyone hasn't played it, it might not be all around the world, I don't know, but I'm English and we played it in England. So you hold your hands up and you go under the tunnel, and when you sing the song, the last man, I don't remember saying that part, but whatever we said, put your hands down and you catch someone and they're out. So that's the game. It was a fun game. I loved it. I wasn't traumatized. However, I can understand there are new versions now that say things like, here comes a candle to light you to bed, and here is a pillow to lay down your head. So that's a bit nicer, isn't it? We'll have pillows, and yeah, We'll try not to traumatise the children, but I don't feel like I was traumatised. I love this game. Anyway, so this is a picture of them playing Oranges and Lemons, which goes with the Bow Bells. Doesn't really go with Dick Whittington, but you see the connection? This is where my rabbit hole took me, to Oranges and Lemons. I found that on the floor too. All right, so they're all the pieces we have to work with. Let's turn it into something we like. But I thought I might just turn that into the path. And then it's, do I get rid of the edging? I think I might, because I've got this now instead of that other piece. I think I might take the cream edge off, and then it's a case of, well, where this all lands up. So I'm thinking that he will just go somewhere like that, close to the church. All right, don't know where that's going. And so then, yeah, do we like the Dick Whittington thinking about being Lord Mayor and turning back to London? And because it's something loud, see, loud, we've got the bells. We could, if we have these guys, we've got the children are quite loud. The cat can be quite loud. And then do we have this, among the things that this day brings may come to you a call, one which, unless you're listening, you may not hear at all. Lest it be soft and low, whate'er you do, where'er you go, be listening. Wise advised in a noisy world. I quite like that quote, and I think the fact that we've got Oranges and Lemons here, we probably don't need this as much. Maybe we'll just have this as the Great Bell at Bow line somewhere, because I can't fit both of these in like that. So anyway, that might end up there. No idea where the leaves are going, and no idea where the mushroom is going. But I have thought about this, and because it's got Christmas wishes on it, and because they're inside, I think I'm going to fussy cut all the children out so they can be playing in the street instead of the bedroom or the house. So let me do that first and I'll be back. Okay, so I've cut that out. I had to cut off the little girl down here. I think she's in the bin already, because there's only half of her. So she looked a bit strange. The Bow Bells. So they're quite popular with people who are bell ringers. They, you know, they all want to ring the Great Bell of Bow. It's obviously, apparently, quite famous in the bell ringing world. I can't think of anything worse than being a bell ringer. I don't like loud noises. Can you imagine being up there in the bell tower ringing the bells? I mean, I've watched the videos of them doing it, and it does look interesting to a certain extent. Apparently harder than it looks to ring the bells properly. Okay, so we've got the kiddies playing Oranges and Lemons, and I don't know if I've inked this before or not. I'm hungry. I always seem to get hungry. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm... Oh, I've woken the dog. Shush. I always end up saying that I'm hungry on the video. He's gone back to sleep. He's a bit of a snorer. Let's just do some inking on this, but I've got to cut something off that edge. I don't think I want to tear it down. I think I just want to cover the background. That's where Dick Whittington is going to stand, dreaming about London. And we've got our little kiddies playing in this. No, I suppose they could play this side. No, it doesn't really work, does it? Oh, I don't know, maybe it does, because the street, maybe it does work better that side. And maybe I can just push that a little bit that way, give him more room. As long as we can see where the bells of the bow are, and cover up as much of the street as we need anyway, because it's a different era. I mean, this boy even looks like he's a little bit, not quite, but similar style, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be historically accurate. So it's just a case of what we do with the mushroom and what we do with the leaves. I don't think we can do that. I mean, I don't know. I've never really had a dried leaf in a, and it's not that dry. It's not finished drying yet. It's still a bit, but it's nice and flat. Maybe have that over here as if it was the bushes where they were standing. Maybe, not sure that I like it that much. Then I'm probably going to need some mushrooms and stuff to sort of denote the undergrowth on top of that. So let's ink this up. But I think just like that might be fine. And then I'd like a little red one. That will add a bit of greenery as well. Okay. Little growth of mushrooms behind the rose leaves. Do I like it? Not really. Not keen. It's maybe just a little bit of a leaf so we don't have too much of it. So it's just kind of greenery and not a rose, because that really does look like a rose leaf, doesn't it? And yeah, a rose leaf sticking out behind the cat just doesn't work for me. But just something green, finishing off that edge there. I might end up using another one of those leaves. Here, let's try this. Just kind of like go like that, maybe. But I did kind of like it coming over. Okay, yes, it'll be something like that. Oh, I still need to have somewhere for the quote. Oh, darn. That hasn't fitting in now, is it? Let's just ink this up. I might actually have to rough it up because it just, even though it's taken the ink, I just need it to not look so neat. I didn't really mean to tear it, but they're new scissors. So they're sharp. Okay, and I'm just going to brush that up a bit too. Interesting. What's it doing? What is this? Weird. Okay, well, it's alright, it's getting a bit grungy, that's all. Whatever that weird squiggle is, I don't know. It's just a bit of grunge, that's okay. Can handle that. Okay, we'll fiddle with that, but something along those lines. Okay, yeah, don't mind that too much. I don't like this bit here. And we have this, we might as well do the same for this. I wonder why it's doing that. A bit strange. Yeah, down there will do. That will go there. Alright, so we've got those. Have we got everything? Got those mushrooms, but however I wanted to use these. Oh, and this. Oranges and lemons. Say the bells or St. Clements. I think that's just going to go down there. It's a little, that's quite sweet. That just finishes that part off. Where can I fit this giant mushroom? Oh, the green one. The green one matches nice. I was thinking of having him leaning on a mushroom, but it takes away the London part. So, yeah, like I was gonna cut that London part out and have him leaning, put the hand underneath and have him leaning on the mushroom, because this mushroom matches him so well. Can't believe I can't fit it in. A mushroom in London. I don't think so. Does he want to wear a hat? Well, that looks a bit cute, but I don't know about that. He's already wearing a hat. Ah, look at this. Oh my god. Does that look cute or does that look cute? Looks like he's wearing an umbrella mushroom. What about this one? It's going to be too big. Let me cut the bottom off. I don't like the bottom anyway. We always walk around with mushroom umbrellas. Let me just change the light so you can see it better. No. Okay. I quite like that. Oh, there we go. Now you can see it. Does that not look cute? I think it looks cute. Fills up that sky and space. It looks a bit like an alien spacecraft. And, you know, the cat's looking up going, what are you wearing? What are you doing? You have to have that stick going to the edge there. Obviously when it's glued down it'll make more sense. So if we do that, do we take off the blue so that it's actually an umbrella? And I'm thinking we do. The blue doesn't match my colour scheme anyway. Okay, let's get rid of the blue. I know he's supposed to. I've got snoring dog again, but we don't really want to wake him. Okay, let's try this. I don't know, I think it's cute. And it looks like some sort of weird alien thing coming down the street. I think that's all of it, isn't it? I think I prefer the red to the green. Even though the green matches, I like the red. It doesn't look as... It matches his outfit, but it doesn't look as weird in a sense, because it actually does look like an umbrella. So it doesn't look funny, whereas this looks funny because it looks like a mushroom and it looks really bold in the sky. All right, so I'm going to glue some pieces together and I'll come back. So it doesn't look quite so much like I can't really see it. Trying to make it look not quite too much like scrapbook paper. Just give it some shading. We need to have the position of the... Well, we need the position of everything because it depends on where we're putting it. So we had it kind of moved over, didn't we? It's got a bit of a white edge there, so I'm going to just snip a bit more of that off. Yeah, so we're going to cover up that part here and just have the tower part showing so that we can see the street. I mean, I could cut that street out and have it as the parquetry. So that will get rid of the horse and cart. I can always print it out again if I have to, so we're going to just cut down there. Hope the parquetry goes high enough up. No, it doesn't. Okay, we're going to take it to the I always do this and then muck it up. I have to print another one out. So it's up to this horse here. I can just cut it off there. Okay. All right. Dog's noise. That is crazy. So that's going there. Alright, so now we've got the parquetry going up the street, as if it's kind of like the cobblestones or the paving. I like that better because it got rid of that line that's coming between them, so now they sort of really do look like they're in the street, except for this bit here. Just going to cut that part off here. Okay, so that's going there. So we can glue that on because that is where it's going. Well, we'll just check. It looks a bit strange. Yeah, where is that piece I just cut? I'll try gluing it back on. I don't really want to print out another one. Put it in place afterwards. Okay. All right. So that's ready to go on. Okay. And that's going to go there. I'm not gluing it yet though. I think we probably need to... I'll put this little piece down. I'll cut off. And you won't even be able to tell. Okay, got the background done. Little children there. A bit more of that off. No, I think it's okay. Because it's light here, we're lucky. Let's just try and blend the colour in a bit. Okay. I think we're ready to glue them down. Let's use glue sticks so we can move them a little bit. So what's the other thing that's going in here? Oh, we've got to make sure we've got room for this. That goes going to go right on the edge actually. Alright, so we'll put that there. I think that's about perfect. Just goes right on the edge. Now I've glued it down, so just got to, where is this going? This was going under here, wasn't it? Glue, I think we're going to have to use glue stick because I'll need to position it in the right place. Alright, so that goes, and that should allow me to put that there. Yep, but I just need to got a glue, so just his foot. And cat. Okay. It's a little bit lower than I had originally anticipated, but that's okay. Yeah, it was actually closer to the sky last time. Okay, what else do we have to do? Is that it? Oh no, mushroom. We've got this mushroom, that one on this side, because of that. Oh, we wanted a leaf, that's right. Oh, and this. Cool. Didn't leave room for that this time. Oranges and lemons. Last time I had room for that, now I haven't. Must have been higher up. Cover up their feet or just leave it off then. Well, that's a shame. I'll just cover up his feet maybe. And leaves. So we have a leaf coming. Oh, well, was the leaf going to go underneath? Oh, it isn't now. That's okay. We can always trim the leaf to make it a bit smaller. And there was a smaller one. This one. Yeah. Okay, so we just got some greenery in the bottom. And a little bit of red mushroom, I think I had. Papery one, but I'm going to give it a bit of an ink. Ink. Everything's lower down than what it was. See, I think last time I covered up the cart. Oh, we don't actually need the red mushroom. We've got the giant mushroom. I want to be able to see the writing. I don't even know if I like the leaves. We don't actually have to have them if I don't want to. Mushrooms in front of the cat. Yeah, it was better when they were a bit higher, and then I could fit all these mushrooms in. I could use this see-through one. Yeah, I think I like them better. But will we be able to see through? So maybe the red one will go there so it doesn't miss too much of the word. Should be able to. Because usually you can see more through it than what you could if you didn't. What? Usually you can see more through than what you can. Yeah, I can't make that into a sentence. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I know what I mean. Once you glue it, you can see better through the translucency. All right, so do we like the oranges and lemons on the bottom, or do we want the oranges and lemons over here? No, need it to be here with the children. Well, I like those. I'm going to try these out. You can usually peel them. Let's cut a bit more of the stuff off. I'll be back. Okay, that's a bit fiddly. Got it. And now I'd really like that on there, so I'm gonna have to make do with losing his feet because I like it. Never mind. Still goes under there. I don't think I'm going to go around the edges of this guy because I think he pops out enough. If I do one, then I might have to do the others. I really don't want to do the children in the street. I think they blend nicely into the street. I don't want to make them pop out. He pops out enough with his with his mushroom umbrella. I mean, you know, you need your mushroom umbrella when you're going to London town. No one will notice. Okay, I think that's done. All right, let's go through. I'm just going to put it back into the, take it off the light. It looks better when you take the glare off it. Looks way better. And it looks nice in real life too, so I'm happy with it. All right, so we have a mushroom. We definitely have a mushroom, and we have a little mushroom as well. We have an illustration from a children's book, which actually both of those are. This came from the Humpty Dumpty book I have, and this is would have been an illustration for a children's book, but I don't know which one. A zigzag. We have the parquetry floor or road. It's kind of zigzagging. At least you can still see the zigzag here. Dried leaf or flower we didn't do. Something loud. We have the bow bells. They're pretty loud when they're clanging. The children are often loud when they're playing or whatever, and the cats are sometimes quite loud, especially when they're fighting at night or something like that. And the bonus is a quote. Well, this came out of my friendship book, and it was a lady, but I can't remember her name. She's no one famous. It's not like a famous quote, but it was someone put in the friendship book the quote from someone who wrote to her, and they wrote this poem. Among the things that this day brings may come to you a call, one which, unless you're listening, you may not hear at all. Lest it be soft and low, whate'er you do, where'er you go, be listening. Wise advice in a noisy world. Okay, so yeah, thinking that Dick Whittington would have been thinking that London was pretty noisy. And when he was walking away and the bow bells were ringing, he decided to go back and become the mayor of London. Apparently he sold his cat to get rich, but no, he didn't really, I don't think. That's just a story they made up in the rhymes. So there we go, that gets tucked in. And that is number 48. Done. Okay, cool. Remember to comment below to be entered for the vintage playing cards. And go back to the, if you haven't already gone to the Thrifty Thursday, then head over to that one as well, and you'll be entered to win the 10 packets of vintage playing cards, which will be drawn at the end of November. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for pressing the like button, subscribing and commenting. It all helps the channels grow. Okay, see you in the next video. Thanks again. Bye bye.